We've taken Birmingham United from League 2 up to the Championship. But we only got here because our owner gave us some loans from his other team, Atlanta United, and they were way too good for League 1, but they went back to Atlanta, and it now means we are the worst team in the Championship. We only have 16 senior players because veterans like Reynolds, Armstrong, and Carlos Vargas left this summer in search of playing time. We probably need 5 or 6 good signings now, but thankfully the rich ownership has given us $30 million to spend. So we meet with the owner and see if we can get back some of those loan players like Martinez on permanent deals. But Blank says no and tells us the only reason these loan players even agreed to join us last season was that he paid them secret wages to help us win promotion. We can't tell anyone about this or the club might get in trouble, so if we can't get our loans back, we need new signings. And first up on my wish list is Dominic Buchanan. He had a breakout season with LA Galaxy last year. This dude is a beast, breaking records in his medical. He's tall, strong, and fast, and we break our transfer record to bring him in. Can't wait to see him play for us. And we're just getting started. I'm finalizing the rest of my transfer list. That is, until I receive some bad news. Several League 1 clubs complained to the FA about our loan deals last season, and they have now given us a transfer ban for unsporting activity since the loans were between two teams with the same owner. And the trial is ongoing while we await further news from the FA. But for now, we're left with $25 million that's gonna go unspent. We really could have used it. I had to call up this academy kid to even fill an 18-man bench. We don't have a single player in the reserves, and we're not getting much support. We got a big new stadium last season, but it's probably not even half full. The public is turning against us after this scandal, and the new fans are starting to drop off. We can't control everything as the manager, but one thing we can is performances on the pitch, and we get the best of Buchanan immediately, who scores 20 minutes into his debut. The stadium might be mostly empty, but the fans that are there are loving this so far. That is, until this call right here. I don't know how it's been given as a penalty, but somehow the call is given and we concede an equalizer. Well, this went from a dream start to the season to a pretty mixed result so far, but Dominic Buchanan continues to show his class with a rocket past the goalkeeper and puts us in front for the second time this game. But then, again for the second time this game, Bristol City find an equalizer, and it's gonna come down to the wire. We concede the second penalty of the game, but this time, it's gonna cost us the entire 3 points. We suffered defeat in our first game this season, but we better hope we can turn this around fast. Well, the first few games are all the same. Buchanan continues to score plenty of goals, but outside of that, it's not looking great. We're conceding a lot, and most importantly, we're not winning any games. We have to be very careful to keep team morale high because especially considering we can't sign new players this season, we gotta get the most of what we have if we want any shot at surviving relegation. And I'll tell you guys, it's gonna be a proper fight. 12 games into the season, we are dead last, haven't even won a game yet. So I focus on the team in training and try to identify what can we work with this existing squad to get some points. And there is one player that catches my eye. Arthur Bowden's been playing left back, but when we look at his stats, he's actually more technically sound than a lot of our wingers. So I think we could use him better further up the pitch. So we transition him from left back to left wing, and it takes him up to 72 overall. I don't know why we didn't do this sooner, but I think we have a new elite attacker on our hands. He starts in the very next game at left wing, and boy oh boy does it look like we have a great player on the wing for us now. He's got insane speed, which is something we've been missing in this team outside of Buchanan up top, and really it just offers us another outlet because so far everything we've done has been going through Buchanan this season, and we can't be so reliant on just one player. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that because Arthur Bowden is making a name for himself with his debut up top, and it's just enough to lift the morale of the squad a bit and get us heading in the right direction. Buchanan scores a second, and just like that, Birmingham United finally get our first win of the season. And it seems like this is exactly the small tweak we needed to the team. Arthur Bowden is scoring and taking the pressure off of Buchanan by sharing the goals around. But although we're doing all right, it's really not that good. We're conceding a lot of goals, and it's not like we're scoring boatloads either, and it keeps us pretty far down the table. We're really not that close to escaping relegation just yet. But I think we need more hands. We don't have any players in the reserves, so I think it's time to call up another one of our youth players. Yusuf Khan looks like good depth for left back or right back. So he's gonna make his debut with the first team, and with a squad of only 19 players, literally everybody on the team is gonna be getting minutes. For now, we really have to rely on them to at least give us some energy coming onto the field. And it's enough to keep this team ticking along, and honestly, as long as we have Dominic Buchanan fit up top, we're guaranteed at least some amount of goals. This guy is an absolute beast. We just gotta make sure the rest of the team follows suit. But don't get it mistaken, we are still struggling really bad down at the bottom of the table. And I think some players are doing okay, but to put it in context, it's not like anyone's having a world-class season out here. To achieve success, I think we need to see even more out of our star players like Jacob Shepard, who has been here through the highs and lows over our last 4 seasons, and he delivers the perfect corner for the header that's converted into a penalty. Finally, one goes in our favor, and it is none other than Jacob Shepard to step up and take it down the middle, where he's just as composed as ever, and this time it's the difference. And hey, we're grinding out some wins here. For the first time, we have our heads just up out of the water, but up next, it's our rivals, Birmingham City. And while we're suffering through a transfer ban and a rough season, they've continued to build on their team, and honestly, they have a lot of pretty high-rated players compared to us now. And they still got Harry Thompson, who we sold to them 2 seasons ago. We've been losing a lot of stars the last few seasons, but with players like Jacob Shepard still here, we continue to build a core of players with good attitudes and who actually want to be here at Birmingham United. Hopefully Dominic Buchanan can become one of them. He's been on fire. Sinclair with the return pass, and Buchanan scores the first goal of the game. Birmingham United score against our bitter rivals. And although we're a bit down on our luck this season, we do have the lead for now. Brooks Lennon slides in there, and again, a penalty called against us. For the first time, I think it's deserved, and young striker Austin Wallace steps up to score his first goal against us. It ends in a draw. It's not what we would have wanted, but honestly at this stage, a point is something we'll take. We're still just above the relegation zone, and up next, it's Swansea City. Now, we just saw Harry Thompson, but here's another one of our former players, Diego Vargas. We sold to Swansea. We finally have the chance to play against him once again. He's only continued to grow his talents, though, since he left us. For now, we have him on lock, but he's always a threat on the ball. Definitely one to watch out for. And as the game grinds on here, Diego Vargas shaping up for a shot, and his former captain, Liam Morgan, bowls him over in the box. My God, we just keep conceding penalties. Another deserved one, and another conceded one. Harper yet to save. And we're seeing out a defeat to Swansea by one of our former players. Now, we've sold some big names from our team the last few seasons. Vargas and Thompson, we've already played this season. And don't forget about Jazzy Parker, who left for Manchester City. These are all players that would have been nice to keep a hold of if it worked out. We need to be very careful to avoid relegation this season, because if we don't, we could be sure to lose a lot more of our talents. And hopefully, Jacob Shepard is one who stays for the long term. He continues to wear the captain's armband when Liam Morgan's out, and scoring long-range goals like that, he is invaluable to this team. And there's no doubt other teams want him. We're getting offers in for pretty good sums of money, but a player like this, we need to stay in the team. He's scored a lot of important goals for us, but honestly, the whole team has been important this season. Everyone's getting at least decent minutes, but that's not really enough for everybody. Matthew Hobbs, who's been with us for 3 seasons now, has never been a surefire starter at striker. And at this stage of his career, he wants minutes, so he comes to us and he asks for a move away here in January, but we tell him we cannot let you move with this transfer ban. We can't afford to lose players, and I promise if you stay with us and play an important role off the bench, I will let you go next summer. And like I mentioned, with a team this small, every single player in this squad is gonna have some kind of role to play, and the role for Matthew Hobbs right now is coming off the bench to give our other players a rest, but the one area that he can always contribute with is his attitude, and it's been flawless the last few seasons, working hard, and check that out, winning the ball high up the pitch, and then the return pass from Jacob Shepard. Hobbs created the chance with that tackle, and he finished it. He's never been the fastest or the most technically gifted in our team, but one thing's for certain, he's always been a model professional and stepped up when the occasion calls for it. But that doesn't mean our other striker, Dominic Buchanan's not a much better player at the moment. He continues to score goals when he's on the pitch. This guy's absolutely unstoppable. And for the first time all season, we're actually looking fairly comfortable above the relegation zone. Things are looking up, but it all comes crashing down. The FA has followed up on our case and discovered some of the wages that were paid to our loan players last season. That means we get in even more trouble. A 6-point deduction is slapped on top of our transfer ban, and just like that, we are dragged back down into a relegation scrap with only 6 games remaining in the season. And we can tell the pressure is huge. The owner begs us to do whatever we can to grind out wins this season, because failure to stay up could be catastrophic for this club and the players that we've built over the last few years. Thankfully, we continue to grind out results where we can. Dominic Buchanan is scoring goals, and as time is ticking on the end of the season here, there's a feeling we still could make the impossible happen. We've done a great job getting the absolute most out of our players to edge us even closer to staying up. Now we're so close. We're literally on goal difference, safe out of the relegation zone, and with 2 games left against Swansea and our rivals Birmingham City, this is gonna come down to the wire. And it all comes down to this, guys. 2 games will determine not only how this season turns out, but probably the entire future of the club. And I don't need to tell the players how important this is. They look up for the challenge. Jacob Shepherd with a crack from distance. Doesn't quite pan out, but he's always gonna try those, and they come off a lot of the time. Diego Vargas making a run in behind, and he's looking threatening as always, and a mistake at the back leads to a chance, and we almost concede. This game is looking dangerous so far, and as Diego Vargas makes his way into the box again, he's been a danger man against us, and he scores! Well, one of our former star players comes back to bite us. A good performance earlier in the season, and this time he scores the definitive goal that sees us drop important points. Well, it's all gonna come down to the final day of this season. We're still a point off of survival, and against Birmingham City, our rivals, we have to get a win. And the media before this game is swirling. So many questions about our future and the future of this club. What's gonna happen if we don't win this game? All we can do is focus on the 90 minutes in front of us. Now, Birmingham City might have the better players on paper, but we've done an excellent job getting the most out of every single player in our squad this season. And although it won't be an easy game, I think the players are gonna be more than up for it with the rivalry that's been building between these two sides. Birmingham City controlling possession and chances here early in the game, but that's probably to be expected. We're gonna look to hit on the counter attack, and we got the pace with Dominic Buchanan, who runs clean through that back line. The first chance of the game for us is dragged so far wide. That is unlike him. Well, against a team that is probably better than us right now, I don't know how many chances like that we'll get. Birmingham United clinging on here in desperation. We cannot concede a goal. Harper makes an amazing save, and the pressure just continues to build. Chance after chance, another save. Harper's been a man for big occasions over the last 4.5 seasons. We take it to halftime scoreless, but things are not looking good as they stand here. Birmingham City, clearly the better side with all the reinforcements they've been able to bring in this season that we haven't. Into the second half, we're still under so much pressure from our rivals. And as the ball's played into the box, it's another great chance and another great save. Harper somehow keeps that out. Well, it's gonna take a small miracle for us to get anything out of this game at the rate things are going, and another free kick given away. Now we need a way back into this game, and we promised Matthew Hobbs an important role off the bench. Well, this is as important as it gets. It hasn't been Buchanan's night, but maybe, just maybe, it can be Hobbs's. Well, not to put too much pressure on one individual player, but he does immediately change the game. Nice interchange there, and we don't score, but finally we're turning the tides just a little bit. We're definitely finding our way back in here. It's been excellent link-up play from Matthew Hobbs and a peach of a ball from Jacob Shepherd, but Hobbs makes an absolute mess of the finish, and with time winding down, Birmingham United are starting to feel the pressure in a major way. But we are still in control of this match. Shepherd with the interchange for Bowden puts it into the box, and Hobbs can't quite get there. He's given it his all, but on the night, it just hasn't been enough from Matthew Hobbs or the rest of the team. And again, good link-up play, but Bowden gives that ball away. But Birmingham City win the ball back, and they look to spring on the counter. It's a couple of really tidy passes, and then on the counterattack, Birmingham City, and all it takes in a game like this is one chance as our rivals sneak their way in towards our goal against the run of play, and the unthinkable happens. Birmingham City score with only minutes remaining, and it's too late for an equalizer. This is a catastrophe, and it means that Birmingham United are going back down to League One. And despite the best efforts from players like Hobbs and Finn Harper, it's not enough, and we won't always get our fairy tale ending. And not even minutes after the game ends, the question is, will Jeff stay on as manager? Well, the owner wants us to stay, but if we're going to, I need some assurances that we'll do things right the next time and won't get into more trouble. We're sure to lose a ton of players this summer, but if we build a strong identity, I think the future can still be bright for Birmingham United. Now, I know this isn't the happy ending most of you are rooting for, but I promise we will come back stronger. We've got promising youth players and still have the backing of rich ownership. We built this team up once and we can do it again. Birmingham United can still become the best team in England. And as we wait for next episode, check out my Patreon to download and play with the official Birmingham United mod that's been updated, as well as get behind the scenes and access to my Discord. The more you guys can help support me on Patreon, the more high quality videos I'll be able to put out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.